What's going on? It's a DreamItAlive show. I'm your host, Ash Kumara, co-founder of DreamItAlive.com. We're a global community guiding you to create your dream life with scientifically proven visualization tools, dream boards, and helpful personal development content. It is a free community to join, so just check out DreamItAlive.com. Today's theme is all about women entrepreneurship. I have a natural positive bias towards it. I co-founded DreamItAlive.com with two of the most dynamic women entrepreneurs ever in the world, Anita Rani and Erin Mester. And one of the themes that I've learned from just working with them is I really feel that women entrepreneurs bring a different mix to the whole spectrum of how the world is seen and how great things could be built. And I think when you combine women entrepreneurs with male entrepreneurs in a leadership setting, I think you could see tremendous magic happen. Not to be biased, but DreamItAlive.com is a very unique offering. DreamItAlive.com is in the business of helping make people's dreams come alive. And I think the whole vision and how it's gone and how it's becoming with our global impact could not have been done without the masculine, feminine energies kind of colliding together on a more spiritual front. But regardless of that, for many people who aren't as familiar with the rise of women entrepreneurship right now, especially with books like Lean In, and there's women-specific angel funds that are happening where they're funding a minimum of one founder being a female, and also a lot of women-inspired brands. It's a really awesome time to really understand it. I'm not trying to make women entrepreneurship be something that's a label or anything like that, but just the rise of women as entrepreneurs right now is probably higher than ever. And today's guest is someone who really understands this trend of women entrepreneurship. Nicole Yeary, she's the founder of MS Tech. It's an amazing community that provides women in technology ventures and innovative companies the inspiration, knowledge, and connections to reach their full potential. If you look her up, she's all over the map. She's a member of the Social Enterprise Alliance, Internet Society, Clever Girls 1000. She's been recognized as one of today's Chicago's most inspirational women. Huffington Post Women in Tech has recognized her. She's a really awesome person. I briefly met her earlier this year at a Up Global Summit, which is a entrepreneurship nonprofit trying to help promote entrepreneur events and activities, and really dynamic girl. So Nicole, thank you so much for being on the show.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So Nicole, I always ask our guests this question. Walk us through how you got to where you are right now. Like, what are some of the pivotal moments in your journey as an entrepreneur that led you to creating MS Tech?
Well, I worked for a large company most of my career. I was an engineering student at Purdue and was going for architectural engineering, and was also working part-time for an insurance company, and had ended up really just sticking around at the insurance company. And back in 2008, when a lot of people lost their jobs, so did I. And it kind of led me to reflect and decide what I wanted to do next. And I had looked at pretty much the experience I had listening to people and individuals, small business owners that were looking for health insurance, and trying to find an opportunity to create something online that would be like a hub for health insurance. And this is all like pre-Obamacare. But my journey, I understood that I really needed to have a HIPAA certified developer. And when I looked to see how much that would cost me to build this website and then to hire a HIPAA certified developer, it was far beyond my severance package that I had received, and wanted to kind of see if I could raise venture capital. This is something very, very new to me. So back then, we didn't have a lot of the well-known startup scene that we have right now in Chicago. And as I kind of went through this journey, I realized that I wasn't able to even get an appointment to meet with a VC. And I didn't know what I was doing wrong. And I think that pretty much throughout my entire career, I've never been in a position where I haven't been able to do what I want to do. And I think that's what a lot of women today are kind of experiencing when it comes to tech and venture capital, and we're seeing a lot in the media, as you mentioned.
Okay, well, I'm going to throw devil's advocate on that question. First of all, I appreciate your honesty, but for every, let's say, 3 to 5 women ventures that might complain that, the venture capital or angel investing scenes aren't as open to their ideas, there are amazing women ventures that are getting funding, that are led by women, or the key founders are women. What are they doing right?
Yeah, so I think that Dell has sponsored a study on this. It's called the Gender GEDI Index, and they looked at a global perspective, 37 different countries, to see really what was the challenges. And even the U.S. being the top rated in terms of opportunity, you look at a person who has a great network and a person who has money, obviously have more opportunity to do these sort of things. And then in the middle is what they call high potential entrepreneur. And this is someone who doesn't have a great network, doesn't really have the money, but if we were able to give them the money and the opportunity, what kind of different economic situation would we have? And that's what I'm referring to. I've been fortunate to build a nice network of people, and in the last really 12 months, meet a lot of investors and meet investors that have invested in women and learn from them really what is it that you kind of learned about this entrepreneur that are we in a situation where women aren't pitching? Are they not asking for money? Or were they in my situation where I didn't really know how to do it? I didn't know how to approach it. So what we are trying to do is answer that question, number one. And we're not collecting the data right now in terms of SEC filings and knowing what gender is really capturing that funding. So my goal is to answer that question and then twofold, provide the education and awareness that they need to set themselves up so they can actually raise that capital. Because the answer is really 2.7% of venture-backed startups are female-founded, period. And that's a really, really low number. So how do we fix that?
Yeah, well, how do we fix that? I mean, off the top of your head, I'm just curious.
Well, that's our mission, is to fix that, and I have a goal within 5 years to make a difference and make a person.
Ooh, you're talking about vision. Nice. You know me, I'm Mr. Dreamboard here. So okay, all right. Yeah. Now we're gonna now we're gonna talk about the fun stuff. Okay, what is on your dream board for this helping women in 5 years? Tell us, what is the vision behind this? Like, what is your intention, and what do you vision seeing? And I hope everyone on this interview will visualize this Miss Tech dream board that we're now creating on this show.
Yeah, I really dream and envision a lot of these women organizations that we have across the country, across the world, coming together and creating more of a force together. There's a lot of silos, and I don't think it's intentional. I think it's just women were collecting, and kind of convening together individually in different cities. So I'd like to see those come together as a whole and become a force for good, and start collectively working on tackling real issues and seeking out the solutions to them. One of my personal visions is to have a fund of my own, where I could provide small bets on entrepreneurs and see them, one, make money, and two, be able to create social impact with those. More and more, we're seeing a lot of social impact ventures, and I would like to see that happen more. And it tends to be that majority of the women I meet have the intentions of some sort of social impact that's tied to their business venture.
Okay, I keep hearing this term social impact, and I don't even know if DreamItAlive is considered social impact, so that's why I'm kind of selfishly asking, what is social impact?
Well, are you familiar with benefit corps? Like a B Corp?
I am very familiar with them, but why don't you shed light on that for others, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so when we have, a lot of nonprofits now, they rely on dollars from grants and, give a lot of giving. But what if we made like a nonprofit type of mission that was sustainable on their own, that was making money either with a hybrid model or an embedded type of model? So, for example, Miss Tech is, my goal is to, and part of the vision board, become a benefit corp, and we have women that are members that are for-profit entities. So for us to be for-profit makes sense. We want to teach them how to become for-profit companies, and but yet we're making impact because we're touching an area that really is, for whatever reason, and we don't know the answers to these specific questions as we addressed earlier, but they're not. The economic situation is that there would be more jobs if we can get more female ventures funded, and so that makes us a social good that we want to make the impact on the economy and make a change. So it could be anything from a global impact that they want to make, whether it's something that's related to another country, providing whether it be water or sanitation type of things. And there's a lot of students going to classes in entrepreneurship around social entrepreneurship.
That's awesome. What is with modeling, at least for individuals, one of the things I learned from Tony Robbins, just from hearing him, in his talks and stuff, is that, you should always model successful people that are kind of in the same world as you, but on a larger successful scale. So you realistically can, learn from someone in your space and, realistically get the tips and traits of how to win. Who are some, for you, who are some individuals or companies you feel are kind of paving the way for this social enterprise type of, or impact, impact ventures type of stuff? And it could be either female focused or just general, any companies. I'm just curious.
I think it's still one of those things. There's only 1,000 B Corps, a little over 1,000 right now, so there's not a lot of them. There's very specific sets of data and information that you have to collect, and even when we were at the Up Summit, that was one thing I was hoping to learn, was to get from them really what are the impact numbers that you look at to address when it comes to startups, and how would I model that. But I will say that there's one person that I do follow on a regular basis that I think is, he's kind of crazy, but he also is making small bets on companies, and he's doing it a lot of global efforts around that, and that's Dave McClure. He has an approach to his own, 500 startups, but he invests, from what I can tell in the data I look at, he invests in more female-founded startups than I've seen any other VC make, and he also makes a specific intent with his syndicates through Angel, the Angel Network, and that to really invest in more women. So from a VC standpoint.
Okay. That's a great person, and yeah, Dave McClure, I'm very familiar with him, and he's as good as you get when it comes to being an investor. I'm curious for you, between now and that 5-year goal, like what are some immediate milestones or immediate things you're going to be doing to make this vision come true, or at least take steps to make the vision come true?
One is finding those impact measurements and the KPIs that would address, how do we measure the social impact and directly impacting our mission around the 2.7%. And 2 is finding a team. Really, I'm looking for people who can be as passionate about this mission as I am, and committed to it for a 10-year period, knowing that this is something that we're going to be doing for a while. And while my goal is 5 years, I definitely believe that it's going to be followed up on, and really I just want to be able to see a team of people that can contribute the type of effort and energy that I give to it every day.
Okay. Well, I have one last question on this whole subject matter, and then we're going to get to some audience questions. We're Facebook friends, and you posted recently about F-Cube, that female-focused angel fund, and you kind of made it a big deal, and I agree it is a big deal. What role do you see female angel funds playing in the landscape? And when I ask you that question, I'm not looking for, more females will get their dreams funded. I'm more looking like, how can this inspire, non-female entrepreneurs, traditional venture capitalists and investors who aren't as privy to female-founded companies? Like, what impact could these kinds of funds play? Because you also want to do a fund, so clearly it's of interest, I guess.
Yeah, so there's only so many. As an angel, a very prominent angel investor in New York, and I had a conversation about this. There's only so many angels that are, registered as far as who qualify as an investor, right? but where can we source more dollars to give to maybe other women? Because right now, I'm not going to bank on the fact that I'm going to convince any investor or venture capitalist that they should invest in women. That's not my intent. If they're going to miss the boat on that I want them to see what the opportunity they miss later on once we're going to actually do it. And through that, I believe that people like Natalia Oganero, right? And she's got the Pipeline Fellowship. She's founded that. She's come to Chicago, San Francisco, and New York, and I believe Austin now, where she's teaching women to become angel investors. And I believe that the charitable dollars that are given right now by a lot of affluent women could potentially be given to other women and seeing if they have a social impact venture and seeing the double impact that they're making by giving money to a female founder who has a mission that has a social impact tied to it. And that's really where I see something that's very dynamically different and a lot of opportunity.
Okay. Very cool. Well, I appreciate you.
Does that make sense?
No, that makes total sense. And again, I'm just trying to educate a lot of our viewers, and I'm personally just kind of curious because this whole world is very new to me naturally, and I'm naturally pro-supporting it given my founding of DreamItAlive.com and how I feel my two founders of just great perspective. And I don't think I would have been able to create my own dream venture without working with female entrepreneurs. So I love everything that you're saying.
Awesome.
We have some questions from from crowd. So Tom has a question. His question is, I'm an actual angel investor, and I am curious what are the more common, based on your research, what are the more common types of industries that you have seen more female entrepreneurs have success in, whether it's funded or not being funded in? And I know it's speculative. I'm just telling you, I know this is just a speculative answer. I know you haven't done all your research yet, and I know it's just your opinion, but where have you just felt that like women have had more success succeeding as an entrepreneur in, whether it's through funding or whether it's through actually building a scalable business?
I wouldn't pigeonhole them into any industry. I really wouldn't. I see them from every industry coming through, and I'm impressed every time, whether it be an analytics marketing venture, or it's a fashion, or a beauty and vision. We have all sorts of startups that are coming through Chicago, especially, and the women that I meet. There's one. She's Babies for Babies. She actually makes swaddles for babies. It's an e-commerce site, and there are, like I said, data analytics for just doctors that a lot of these health analytics and that. They're from varying different backgrounds, and it tends to be obviously their history and work. It has inspired them in some way to kind of come through. But they're definitely not the typical industries that most people like to pigeonhole them in. They come from all different sorts and different educational backgrounds too. Awesome.
Okay, cool. Well, surprise, surprise. One of our viewers, his name is Nicole too, and she wanted to know what are some good books and blogs I should be aware of to better understand this whole female entrepreneurship trend and support and things of that sort.
When it depends on what stage you're in, but of course, blogs I would say follow ours at Miss Tech. But for books, I love Venture Deals by Brad Feld. Especially if you're raising capital, you can learn a lot from just what he shares in his books. And he has his most recent copy that has it was kind of a revised copy. Also, if you're like an early entrepreneur and you're not sure, Slicing Pie by Mike Moyer is a great book as well when you're talking about money and slicing the pie amongst a team of people. Okay,
very cool, very cool. All right, my last question is from David, and David has a question. His question is, hey, I'm actually an entrepreneur in Chicago, and I love the whole scene. What do you think Chicago's doing well, and where do you see Chicago needing more guidance or help in?
I think Chicago there's so much opportunity on the horizon. With Chicago, we have a lot going on, and it's been, there's a lot of co-working spaces popping up, and we all have like our main home, which is 1871. We know we can go there, and we can run into probably, 50 different people that we know in the space, and it just had an expansion. The opportunity will be really, I think, encouraging more of the universities that are surrounding the Chicagoland area, and really engaging students. So that's one of our goals is we are working with Purdue Alumni Club, which is where I went to school, and working with young women there and starting a collective there where we can engage both engineering students and entrepreneurial-minded students who might have a desire to be an entrepreneur or at least have that entrepreneur managerial mindset. So I think working with students would be an opportunity. They do a lot of it already with like the universities that are here locally, but I think just touching some of those areas that are just outside of Chicago is our opportunity.
Okay, cool. Well, Nicole, this is your spot now to talk about where they can find you, what they should keep up with regarding your initiatives. This is your soundbite. So what do you want to tell our viewers?
Well, we're looking to expand into cities that are in need of more resources and want to engage with us. And we have collectives that are starting. We're launching in New York in January and looking to expand to San Francisco in the second quarter of next year. And then anybody else who would like to bring a collective to their city, please reach out to us. They can find us at ms-tech.co and or tweet at us at Ms. Tech Group. And we'd love to hear from anybody who's either building a company, interested, maybe they have a full-time job and they're trying to leave. we hear that a lot. So we would love to, men and women too. We are very, very engaged with both. And our council even that we have here in Chicago is equally men and women. And as you mentioned earlier, that a great company is built with a diverse team. We believe that too. And trying to recruit to any team, diversity and skill sets and gender and in every place that we can. So the same holds for us. Okay,
very cool. Well, thank you so much, Nicole, for being on the show, and keep up the great work. Can't wait to see all the continued success in this research project that you were mentioning. And yeah, you're a pioneer in what you're doing. So thank you.
Thank you, Ash. I really appreciate it.